The 15 best trails in the greater Ocala area. There's a bridge just south of Ocala where you can stand in the middle of a forest, look down, and watch 6 lanes of Interstate 75 disappear underneath your feet. Thousands of people drive under it every day and probably have no idea it's there. And honestly, that's the story of exploring the trails around Ocala. There are forests, springs, prairies, river crossings, ghost towns, and historic sites hidden all around us. Welcome back to Heart of Ocala. Today, we're counting down the 15 best trails in the greater Ocala area. Some are paved and accessible, others take you deep into the Ocala National Forest, but every one offers something memorable. Whether that's scenery, history, wildlife, or simply a destination worth walking toward. The Ocala National Forest was established in 1908 and covers nearly 383,000 acres. Add in the Cross Florida Greenway, our rivers, springs, and conservation lands, and we have an incredible amount of trail right in our backyard. So let's get into it. Number 15, Gore's Landing. We're starting with Gore's Landing along the Ocklawaha River. There isn't really a formal hiking trail here. Instead, you'll follow a wide forest road for about 3 miles toward the river. The route is quiet and remote, with chances to see deer, wild turkey, or even an otter. There's very little shade, so bring water and save this one for a cooler day. It isn't the most developed trail on the list, but if you want solitude and a peaceful river destination, it's worth exploring. Number 14, Salt Springs Trail. Number 14 is the Salt Springs Trail. This 1.9 mile loop is one of the shorter options on the countdown, but it's a great introduction to the big scrub landscape of the Ocala National Forest. Interpretive signs explain the plants and habitat, and the trail includes a few unexpected climbs, a long boardwalk, and an observation area near the spring run. Parts can flood after heavy rain, so expect the possibility of wet or muddy conditions. It's short, educational, and much more interesting than a simple walk around a park. Number 13, Baseline Road Trailhead. At number 13 is the Baseline Road Trailhead on the Cross Florida Greenway. You'll find about 5 miles of paved trail here, along with access to natural surface sections of the Florida Trail. Much of the surrounding land was once pasture and is now being restored into longleaf pine sandhill habitat. It's flat, convenient, and works well for walking, biking, strollers, or anyone who wants to get outside without committing to a rugged hike. It may not be the most dramatic trail on the list, but it's accessible, developed, and easy to recommend. Number 12, Orange Creek South Track. Number 12 takes us north towards Citra and the Orange Creek South Track. 3 connected loops let you choose a shorter walk or combine the trails for more than 8 miles. The marshes and wetland edges are the main attraction, with chances to see wood storks, bald eagles, sandhill cranes, snowy egrets, and other wetland birds. It's also much quieter than many of the better-known spring trails, so there's a good chance you'll have long stretches to yourself. Number 11, Clearwater Lake to Alexander Springs. At number 11 is the Florida Trail section connecting Clearwater Lake and the Alexander Springs. The route runs for nearly 10 miles through pine forest and scrub before reaching Alexander Springs. This is best handled as a point-to-point hike, so you'll need to arrange transportation at the other end. It's a substantial outing, but still approachable for someone ready to move beyond shorter loops and experience a real stretch of the Ocala National Forest. Number 10, Alexander Springs and the Timucuan Trail. Number 10 is Alexander Springs. The Timucuan Trail is only about 1.1 miles long, but it includes interpretive information about the plants used by the Timucua people who once lived throughout this region. Alexander Springs also connects directly to longer sections of the Florida Trail. That means you can enjoy a developed nature walk, spend time around the spring, or head deeper into the forest for a more serious outing. That flexibility makes Alexander Springs one of the most versatile destinations on the list. Number 9. The Lake George Trail from Silver Glen Springs. Number 9 is the Lake George Trail from Silver Glen Springs. It's only about 3 miles round trip, but it may be one of the most historically significant walks on the countdown. The trail begins near enormous shell midderns created by indigenous people who lived along the St. Johns River for thousands of years. Ancient live oaks now grow directly out of the mounds. The trail finishes on a bluff overlooking Lake George with a wide open view across the water. Stay on the marked trail and off the middens. This remains an archaeological site and an area of deep cultural significance. Number 8. The Ocala Prairie Restoration Area. Coming in at number 8 is the Ocala Prairie Restoration Area. The property offers several trail options, including longer routes along raised levees surrounding marshland, canals, and the historic river channel. But the most unexpected feature is the Chernobyl Memorial Forest. The 3.8-mile loop passes through hundreds of acres of planted longleaf pine. The forest was dedicated in 1996 to honor the people who died, suffered, and survived following the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster. A memorial to a nuclear disaster in Ukraine, quietly growing in the woods outside Ocala, Florida. Number 7. Rainbow Springs Yellow Loop. Number 7 is the Yellow Loop at Rainbow Springs State Park. The trail runs for roughly 3.5 miles through shaded forests and offers a more complete outing than the shorter walks near the mainspring. It's well maintained, developed without feeling overly urban, and long enough to feel like you actually went somewhere. The combination of manageable distance, shade, and state park infrastructure make it one of the easiest trails on the list to recommend. Number 6. The St. Francis Trail. At number 6 is the St. Francis Trail in the southeastern portion of the Ocala National Forest. The trail runs nearly 8 miles through the St. Johns River floodplain with large sections built on bridges and boardwalks. It follows the St. Francis Dead River toward the remains of a true Florida ghost town. During the late 1800s, St. Francis was a busy steamboat port, trading citrus and timber with boats arriving from Jacksonville. Then freezes damaged the citrus industry, hurricanes brought flooding, and the steamboat era ended. By the 1940s, the final resident had left. Today, the forest has almost completely reclaimed what remains. Number 5. The Juniper Springs and Juniper Prairie. Number 5 is Juniper Springs. For an easier outing, there's a short nature trail and boardwalk following the spring run through palms, oaks, and subtropical forests. But Juniper Springs is also a major access point for the Florida Trail and the Juniper Prairie Wilderness. That gives you the choice between a developed scenic walk and a much more rugged forest adventure. The site is also home to a historic mill house built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s. Because the area was too far from the nearest electrical line, workers installed a water wheel powered by the spring itself to generate electricity. The mill house is still standing there today. Number 4. Marshall Swamp. Number 4 is Marshall Swamp on the Cross Florida Greenway. Depending on where you turn around, you can make the hike anywhere from about 4.5 to more than 6 miles. The trail passes through a dense, almost jungle-like hydric hammock where the floodplains of the Ocklawaha and Silver Rivers come together. Long bridges and boardwalks carry you over wet forest filled with cypress knees and thick vegetation. Marshall Swamp feels wild, but the built-out trail makes it easier to navigate than a completely undeveloped backcountry hike. It's one of the best combinations of infrastructure and natural Florida scenery in Marion County. Number 3. The Yearling Trail. At number 3 is the Yearling Trail around Pat's Island. The full loop is about 5.5 miles with a shorter option available. Along the way, you'll pass an old cattle dipping vat, a cistern, homestead remains, and the Long Family Cemetery. In 1933, author Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings stayed with Calvin and Mary Long, the final 2 residents living on Pat's Island. She used their stories as inspiration for the Yearling, which later won a Pulitzer Prize for fiction. Marker number 10 identifies the former Long homestead, where the movie set was also built in 1946. This trail gives you a real hike, historic remains, and one of the most important literary stories connected to the Ocala National Forest. Number 2, Denellen Trail. That brings us to number 2, the Denellen Trail. The trail is paved, flat, and one of the most accessible options on the countdown. But accessible does not mean boring. The route passes through thick floodplain forest before opening into the bridge over the Wicklahoochee River. Observation platforms give you space to watch birds, boats, and possibly alligators moving through the cypress-lined water. The trail continues toward the area where the clear, spring-fed Rainbow River flows into the darker Wicklahoochee River. You can actually see the contrast between the 2 bodies of water as they come together. For its combination of river scenery, accessibility, wildlife, and infrastructure, Denellen earns the number 2 spot. Number 1, Santos and the Land Bridge. And that leaves us with number 1, Santos. The paved Cross-Florida Greenway begins here and runs west for about 16 miles. There are also natural surface hiking routes and more than 60 miles of mountain biking trails throughout the broader system. But the biggest reason Santos takes the top spot is the Land Bridge. Completed in 2000 and modeled after wildlife crossings in the Netherlands, it became the first true land bridge of its kind in the United States. The bridge is covered with soil, trees, shrubs, and natural vegetation. When you walk across it, it genuinely feels like the forest simply continues. But beneath your feet, 6 lanes of Interstate 75 are carrying thousands of vehicles through Marion County. It's one of the most unique trail experiences anywhere in Florida. Santos also gives you more choices than any other destination on this list. You could take a shorter walk, follow the paved greenway, explore natural surface routes, mountain bike, or build a much longer day around the trail system. That combination of variety, accessibility, and the land bridge makes Santos the best overall trail destination in the greater Ocala area. So there you have it. 15 of the best trails in and around Ocala. Some are paved, some are historic, some take you into real wilderness, but every one offers something worth leaving the house to experience. Tell me in the comments which trail I ranked too high, which one I ranked too low, and what should have made the list. And if this video helped you discover something new, make sure you subscribe to Heart of Ocala. I'm already out here exploring. You might as well come with me.